Have you ever wondered why bosses get paid 100 times workers? And it seems like the workers do more or 100 times more than the bosses. And there's this same people always criticize how the bosses doesn't do anything and then they get paid 100 times more than the workers. The only way you can understand the reason behind that is if you read the book by James Allen called As a Man Thinketh. In that book he says you are what you think about, you become what you think about. And even Les Brown, Jim Rohn says it, you become what you think about. We all know about when they say you are what you eat, but we'll never ever think about we become what we think about. They say concentration is the most difficult thing. That's why there are very few people who are doing it. Concentration. It's easier to look at yourself. It's easier to keep doing something that adds nothing to your life than to pin down something that increases your life's worth. Because why? It is difficult to do that day after day, night after night, week after week. But you know what? That's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what separates those who get paid the big bucks from those who just become laborers. The ability to think. The hardest part of anything is the thinking stage, because if you can overcome that thinking stage, if you can build something in your mind, then it's easy to build, see, the physical form. For everything we enjoy today comes from the mind of someone. The ability to think, the ability to go inside yourself, the ability to dig in deep. A lot of people these days talk about education, and their meaning of under education is going through an institution where you get taught what to do. But the meaning of the word education, its Latin meaning means educo. The word educo means to induce, to bring outside you. So that's why they say work would. When you learn how to work, you make a living. But when you build a career, when you develop yourself, you would amass a fortune. That's because you've educated yourself. It's called self-education, bringing out what's inside you at your own will, going to do that thing no other person could do, going to do that thing majority would never do. Why? Because it is difficult. It's failure after failure, day after day, right in your face. There are very few people who could withstand that constant failure, constantly being put down, constantly losing and bouncing back. Les Brown calls it the comeback power, the bounce back power. There are very few people who has that power. Many people, they give up because they've failed once, twice. They don't want to face that every day. They throw in the towel. They say, look, I'd rather choose poverty. At least I don't have to face this failure every day. And because that kind of failure kind of somehow tells you, like, look at you look at yourself in the mirror and say, look, I'm a failure. I can't achieve anything. I'm worthless. That's what it does to you. But only those with the power of concentration, the strength to look into themselves, the strength to keep going, never saying it's over until they get what they want. For those who never see any task as difficult, but they just undertake it with the spirit of I will. If I can't find a way, I will make a way until I get that which I'm looking for. That's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what makes some people become something, earn $100, and the rest of us laborers. The power of the mind, not the physical ability. You look at every popular person today, their bodyguard is maybe 2-3 times bigger than them. But their mind is stronger. Their mind has creativity. Their mind has developed something. So it's almost never the physical ability, but the mental attitude. Because they could break down your body and they can never break down your mind. You see this every time where people get knocked down 10 times and they get up and win a fight. That's because their mind is stronger. When something keep coming back at you over and over again, sometimes you throw in the towel and say, look, I can't do anymore. So if you're going through something that you've fallen over and over again, you just have to stop and understand. Is either you allow this thing to overcome you, or you will keep going till you overcome this thing. There's always two winners. Is either whatever you're going through conquers you or you conquer it. There is no middle ground. Is it that you choose failure or you walk and become something? There is no middle ground. Is it that you choose to exist or you choose to live and thrive? There is no middle ground. So it's not about the power, it's how you choose to apply it. The power of concentration. And look, before you start, there's always tons and tons and thousands of excuses out there. Those that fail believe luck and circumstances are against them. And when you believe luck and circumstances is always against you, guess what? It would always be against you, because you know what James Allen says? As a man thinketh. Even in the Bible, it says you are what you think about, as a man thinketh. So our power, our spirit, everything in us, once we believe, that's why you can conquer a mountain from your belief. Whatever you believe becomes you. So it starts and finishes with you. Don't let setback, don't let obstacles, don't let failure stop you. You only quit. It ends when you throw in the towel. And before you know, you're always looking for something else to blame. Why? Because you've made up your mind that I cannot go beyond this. I cannot continue. It's beyond me. So instead of looking into yourself, educate, what can I induce? What is it inside me I can bring out? What is it I can grow? They just focus on blaming other people, calling names, circumstance, their upbringing, their start in life. It's always someone else's issue than them. Les Brown says, there's a prayer here where he says, it is not my father nor my mother, it's not my brother nor my sister, dear Lord, it is me. So he's basically saying it is no other person but me. So once you start understanding that whatever you're going to become in life is down to you. You might have, or you might not have the best school, the best upbringing, the best area, but whatever you become, it's down to you. Because I tell you, whatever you're going through, the people who's gone worse than that, and they've become something. Because why? They've chosen to become something. It's all a game of choice. You choose what you become. Most time our environment shapes us, but you could choose to outgrow your environment. But there's only very few people who have the power to turn that. So when you start understanding that the power of life, your power of choice, the power of your destination is actually in your hand. They say we get what we are, more or less. They say in life we can obtain many things we want. We just have to start, by really focusing on what is it we really want. Some wise people say we are aided by both visible and invisible forces. And whichever way we decide to lean, they push us forward. So we could decide to pursue our goal, they would push you in that direction. Or if we decide our goal is too much for us, they will keep you where you are. So really the power, the action, the will, the spirit, in any direction you decide to go starts with you. Nothing else, with your belief. And that's why they say belief conquers everything. Because you believe, when you believe becomes like then you're not looking for a way out. You're not looking for an escape. You're not looking for any excuses, because to you, you've already overcome before you begin. And that's why many boxers lose fights before they get to ring, because they're already scared. They've kind of assumed loss already. So our mind kind of plays to us what we believe in physically. So before anything manifests physically, it's already manifested internally to us. That's why you are what you think, because what you think is what you believe, and what you believe you express. So, and this, like, the thing is, like, every single person is capable of some level of concentration. It's just like, because with that concentration, we wouldn't be able to do anything. It's just like some people have that ability to take it to the next level, to become extraordinary, to overcome difficult circumstances, why some other people give in at that point?